We're back. We are back. Episode 44 of the Dynasty podcast is here. Myself, Panache and Yashanu here with Trick or Trey Mitchell, as well as the Terminator, Jed Mitchell. We're here, trio, here to discuss all things basketball. One sleep away from the NBA finals. But yeah, obviously lots of stuff to discuss. We're here, guys. What's up? You know, fresh off a King's birthday weekend, long weekend. How's things happening for you down south, Jed Mitchell?
Not too bad, eh? I loved the weekend just to appreciate the monarch and all the greatness that brings along. All hail King James.
Hell the king. There you go. There you go. That's the mentality we need. My guy.
The glorious king or just King James?
My glorious King James.
There you go. There you go. And some other guy in England, claims he's the king, but it's unlucky, man. How about you, Trey? How's things happening, man?
Caught up on some sleep. I think I had like 2 13-hour sleep days, so that's pretty good. Caught up. How about yourself? It sounded like you had at least 24 hours sleep.
Yeah, I had a big
Hamilton.
sleep on Monday, man. Fresh off big night on the drink on Saturday night. So definitely needed the recovery, carried over into Monday. I think when you age like this, bro, 25 years old, the hangovers don't hit the same as they did 7 years ago. So yeah, it's tough, man.
You'd be a espresso martini kind of guy.
Espresso martini, a spritz, spritz thing. Give me
Long
all the
Island
cocktails,
iced
bro.
tea.
Give me that. That's what I need. Hey, shout out to I don't know it's like kayetsu or something. It's like Korean drink, like lemonade or something like that. Hey, that thing goes hard. Whoever introduced me to that,
Silver can.
yeah, silver can. That's the one. I got introduced to that by my friend, Mark Cemento. He said try this, and I had to get a box, and that's what knocked. Yeah, that's the one, bro.
It's
Blur it
blurred
out.
out. It's blurred out because they don't sponsor us.
I can't say how many of those I've got sitting around that got left by people because I don't want them to come to my house and get them. But let's just say if you like that can of alcohol, feel free to come over and pull up. There's plenty, more than enough to last a lifetime. So there you go, bro.
I'll pull up then.
Yeah, but on to the NBA, guys. It's been a week. It's been a week since the last team that's not going to be in the NBA Finals got eliminated. The Minnesota Timberwolves lost in 5. After being the favorite heading into that series with the Dallas Mavericks, they go out in 5 games. And in the game 5 where it really wasn't very close. Now, what does the future look like for them? No one really knows, but we're kind of going to give our thoughts on that one. Looking at them, this is a team that going to the playoffs, they were the underdog going into their first series against the Suns. They win that. Then they go into the next series against who was it? They played the Nuggets, the defending champions. They beat them in 7, and then obviously they lose in the conference finals to the Dallas Mavericks. What's your thoughts on that team and what they can do going forward? Do they need to make any moves to stay where they are, or do you think they run it back with this core that they've got? Start with you, Trey.
A lot of people will say run it back, but watching this Dallas Mavericks series, there's a few key parts that I picked up. And Rudy Gobert, I don't know, man. He's offensive liability big time for this team. And you gave up the house for him. And yeah, he played great against the Nuggets and whatnot. Like they had their whole playoffs was focused on beating the Nuggets, and then they got to the next series, and then they didn't get swept, and they were happy with that. I felt like Rudy Gobert just couldn't hold his own against the Dallas Mavericks. I feel like, he's lost out there, I feel like. And he needs to go, I think. And Naz Red could fill that quite easily. You could get some decent bench players for Rudy Gobert and probably a decent point guard because Mike Conley's aging.
That's a wild call. I think the one thing about Rudy Gobert is he's pretty much their identity. The way they built this team up was on the defense, and you might say, you know what, they're a good defensive team without Rudy, but I feel like a lot of it actually came from what he brought to the team when he came over from Utah, and the shift was pretty much aligned with Rudy Gobert and what he was doing, what he does on the court, I reckon the more interesting player would be Karl-Anthony Towns. If he can't be a lot more consistent, he's proved that he's not someone you can rely on. I don't think you trade him straight away, but I think you monitor him very closely because there's teams that will they'll give the house for someone like Cat. He's young, he can shoot. He's what a lot of teams need, but he might not be what you need. And I think getting rid of him, if they did decide to do that, that could clear up a lot of the troubles they have in the clutch. Because it's a lot of, is it him or Ant? Is it him or Ant? There's no they don't have a concise, decisive plan.
The problem with Cat is Rudy Gobert clogs the paint. And Cat doesn't drive in when Rudy Gobert's in there. He settles for these dumb 3-point shots. Yeah, he can hit them, but he wasn't hitting them this year in the Dallas series, and he still keeps shooting them. I think Rudy Gobert is the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's almost like Rudy's the problem, but if you look at it, you're not really going to get much for Rudy, I think, until the last year of his deal, because I think he's still got 2 years left on that contract. And if I'm the Minnesota Timberwolves, or if I'm any team at all trading, you don't really want to trade with him having 2 years left on his deal. Whereas in the last year of his deal, expiring contracts, we've seen it before, teams are more likely to take that on. But yeah, where they are now, if you're sort of saying, okay, Anthony Edwards is where we believe he needs to be for us to win a championship, then the person who you can probably get a lot more for is Cat. But are you really willing to trade a number 1 pick? I don't think there's many, what you get back for Cat, I don't think can help you win a championship. I don't think so. Because I don't think you can do it with Naz Reid as your starting guy. I don't think he gives you a greater advantage over Cat.
You say you can't get much for Rudy Gobert, but I think if you go, hey, Atlanta, you know what? You give us Dejounte Murray, we'll give you Rudy Gobert, maybe throw in Capella as well, so you've got a solid backup center if you want to play that way. Dejounte Murray, and you might even get the number 1 pick for Rudy Gobert. I think that's probably a fair trade.
Ooh.
No chance.
The number 1 pick for Rudy Gobert.
The number 1
You
pick.
are not getting the number 1 overall pick for Rudy Gobert. I know it's a weak draft and whatnot.
But you don't look at it from what you don't think an Atlanta team where you've got Rudy Gobert and Trae Young as a significantly better position. I think that's a playoff team. I think there's a lot that you can do. We got Jalen Johnson in there as well. If
you're trading your number 1 overall pick, your future, just to be a playoff team, you need to reconsider your whole.
Yeah, maybe the
general manager moves and stuff.
But I think there is. I think Dejounte Murray for Rudy Gobert is an excellent trade for both teams. So hear me out on this one. I think the main reason why you trade for Rudy Gobert to that Atlanta Hawks team, I like the idea of a Trae Young Atlanta. I think everyone loves an idea of a Trae Young Atlanta, and by getting Rudy Gobert on that team and by making that there, I think those two would be a consistent 6 seed and above threat every year. With a few moves, you can even jump a lot higher. If you can consistently keep Trae Young and the Hawks competitive, I believe that's a huge win for Atlanta and the culture of what they've got going on there for the fans, for everyone. But I don't know anyone who wouldn't want to see a good Trae Young team and a good Trae Young Atlanta team. As soon as Trae Young moves on from the Hawks, it's just a sad end to what could have been such a great chapter in that franchise's history.
Wait, what is Rudy Gobert going to do for this Hawks franchise? We just seen Rudy Gobert pretty much get exposed in this Dallas series. What's he going to do in the playoffs in the East with Miles Turner, Siakam, Kristaps Porzingis, these perimeter players? Gobert's just showing us that he can't guard the perimeter, especially with bigs. They can shoot. This is not the right direction for the Hawks. Why would you trade your number 1 overall pick or a solid player just to be mid still? It doesn't make any sense.
So what, you reckon just throw in the towel for Atlanta, trade Trae Young and Dejounte and move into the rebuild phase? Because I don't think it's exciting.
You can trade for a player, but I'm not trading for Rudy Gobert.
I think the one thing that
he is not a number 2 on a championship team, not even close.
I think you look at it and you look at when Atlanta was at their best, was when Clint Capella was in his defensive prime, and he was adding a lot. He was a lob threat for that team. He was a defensive anchor for that team, and that team went to the conference finals. I feel like a team with
And the
Trae Young.
flukiest run, if you ask anyone, but sure.
Hey, still the conference finals.
Where have
Still a
they
lot.
been since? Playing every year.
But who's fallen off a cliff since?
Hey?
Who's fallen off a cliff since?
The whole franchise. What's Rudy Gobert gonna do for them? I'm telling you, like asking.
I think it's just more like it's a defensive identity, and it's someone to anchor them inside. He'll probably get exposed in the playoffs. You're right, but I think they'll make it to a point where
If the T-Wolves can't make the finals with the team they had right now, what's Rudy Gobert gonna do on a worse team?
bro, it's crazy that they added him to that team, and then they made it to a conference finals. 1 year ago was their first playoff.
They also have a superstar and a all-star.
But they've had so much talent through that franchise in the last 14 years and not had one single playoff appearance. They add someone like Rudy Gobert, upgrade their defense, and it got them there. I think that's an impact, and you can't discount it.
Impact and hurt them at the same time.
Yeah, but hurt them like what? In the conference finals rather than, struggling to get into the play-in.
I think they were just trying too hard to beat the Nuggets. That was their goal. Beating the Nuggets was like winning the championship for them. That's the way I've seen it, especially in the last round.
But how they built up the rest of the roster is going to be interesting because you've got Anthony Edwards, who arguably I'm not going to say top 10 yet, but I think for sure definitely top 15. I think definitively top 15 player in the league. So it comes down to how can you round out this roster considering where you are, because his max contract kicks in, and Cat's on a max deal, Jaden McDaniels big deal, Gobert big deal, Naz Reid is locked up, he's signed up. So you've got the pieces there, but are you moving? And I think you probably are going to need to move from someone. So it's going to be finding that key piece. But for me, listen, you guys drafted Cat number 1 pick. I think he's shown that he's capable enough when, he's on point to be that number 2 guy. And I think he's more than happy. He's got the mindset or where he's kind of happy to say, yeah, I'll be the number 2 guy because he wants to win. Now we feel like we've all identified what the weak point was in that series against Dallas, which was Rudy Gobert defensively was getting exposed. Offensively, he can't give you anything. Naz Reid came in. He was able to give you better minutes in terms of scoring, but he's a little bit inconsistent sometimes. So if you're going to move someone, I think it has to be Gobert, and you have to be sort of happy because I don't think you're moving Cat. He's far too good, and you drafted him number 1. There's no chance I think you can move him.
But yeah.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. But yeah, congratulations to the Timberwolves. I don't think many people had them picked to even go to the conference finals. So to make the conference finals this year, bro, there you go. So plenty of optimism, and that's what you need. New teams in the NBA being good. But looking at a team in the NBA that probably underachieved this season, the Sacramento Kings re-signed Mike Brown to a 3-year deal. Obviously a lot of people are talking about it to say, yeah, Mike Brown hasn't been locked up. He's, good seasons in Sacramento. I think this was his 3rd season or maybe his 2nd season. And, obviously they got a little bit unfortunate with Malik Monk injury, but last season they were the 2nd seed. So what's your thoughts on the Kings locking him up and, their sort of prospects for the future, their future outlook?
Well, they gave him the money he wanted. He was only asking for 10 mil. That's probably sounds like a lot, but when you get Monty Williams on what, $70 million or whatever, it's not much. And Mike Brown's got the aura that the Kings respect about him. He brings he's just been a good coach for that Kings team, and they just got unlucky this year. Only 2 less wins, and they missed the playoffs. And they were 2nd seed last year. So I think it's just unlucky. That shows how tough the West is also. But they needed to bring him back. It might help get PG in the off season. We'll soon see about that.
Yeah, because I think they definitely, the first part of the whole puzzle, I think the main piece of the puzzle was getting Mike Brown back. That's bro, one of the best coaches in the league for sure. Now I think the next part is you guys need to go out there and make some moves because what this off season before this season started, not many moves, right? And then now you've got Malik Monk's a free agent. You're probably going to need to try bring him back. Then also, Davion Mitchell, don't think he's lived up to expectation. I think Keon Ellis came in, he performed extremely well. I think you can probably say, Davion Mitchell, we've given you your years. It's time for you to go. Kevin, Red Velvet, he's coming back next season. So that's a piece I think you keep. But for sure, I think you probably see what you can get for Davion Mitchell, package him with someone else and see if you can go get a really good, another 3-and-D player. Maybe do Davion Mitchell and Harrison Barnes combined in a package and maybe a pick and see who you can go get in the open market. Because with those two, I think they've sort of their life, they've kind of run their course with the team, and I don't think they really fit with where this team sort of is anymore.
Barnsy's got to go.
Who?
Barnsy.
Oh, Barnes, fuck, bro. That's about time. I think he might be done like he was in the Warriors. It might be a sign and trade. Get him out, It's not a thing on him. He played well in patches, but come on. It's time. It's time for him to go.
Hopefully he gets traded in the middle of a game again.
That's such a rough thing to say.
Daggers. But they're in a good spot, man. I mean, you've got two good pieces. You've got De'Aaron Fox. You've got Sabonis. Who Sabonis, I'm a little bit, not as high as some other people are, but obviously he's an all-NBA player. But you look at it, I go, man, Harrison Barnes and Davion Mitchell are probably the only two guys who I see them sort of wanting to trade. So it's who can you get out there on the open market? Sorry, who can you get out there in a trade deal? I don't think you're getting a Jimmy Butler, even though he's got his beef, in Miami a little bit right now. But yeah, they're all over the place there. But they definitely need to make a move.
The Jimmy Butler's popped up on every team this week on Instagram, and the beef's with Pat Riley, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pat Riley and his big mouth. I suppose Jimmy Butler's got a big mouth too, but Pat Riley just says some wild things sometimes, and it ends up hurting his team.
Bro, the old man's got dementia.
And the value of his team, like, surely these other GMs, like, why the hell is this guy saying this stuff? Man, I'm gonna offer him chicken nuggets for Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Bro, it's crazy though. I feel like it's like one of those classic situations where when the Heat are winning, like it's like, yo, that's Heat culture. That's Heat culture. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. That's how we ride. As soon as they start losing, everyone's like, yo, that shit's kind of sus.
Yeah.
But like they've always stayed true to that culture, so I feel like you can't hate on them too much. So that's when you go there, when you like talk up Heat culture, you have to expect it in the good times and the bad. But I do like how you brought up Jimmy Butler when we were talking about the Kings. I feel like that's a great fit. Like they just need someone with a little bit of edge to take them that little bit higher, who's got that little bit of experience to where a lot of these players haven't been before. You see what Jimmy Butler did for the two teams that he was on before the Heat and what he has done for the Heat. He's elevated them. Like that Timberwolves team, he exposed a lot of them. I think the Timberwolves have been better for that Jimmy Butler experience. And I think that the 76ers were a lot better than they were before they had Jimmy Butler and struggled a wee bit after they got rid of him. So I think Jimmy Butler could add a lot experience-wise and just that edge-wise to the Kings. So, yeah, I'd like to see that.
Man, I'm a Jimmy Butler hater, right? I just don't. I don't think he's. No, I just don't. Yeah, I really don't see. I don't really see any sort of value in the
Hot take.
76ers are after him.
Hot take, yeah. He's the greatest star of all time. He's the greatest non-superstar NBA player of all time. He's the greatest star of all time.
He's done great things.
He's done great things. Yeah.
What do you hate about that statement? Like he's the greatest non-superstar.
He hates how he's been to the finals twice, and he celebrates like he's won the finals.
Yeah,
It's
and it's not him. It's not him who celebrates. It's the fans, like the people who really love him are like, oh yeah, let's celebrate. He went to the finals and lost twice. Okay, cool, brother. Plenty of people went to the finals and lost twice. Pretty sure Charles Barkley went to the finals. He lost. Karl Malone went to the finals twice in a row and lost. I don't see Karl Malone get celebrated like, oh yeah, you lost to Michael Jordan. Like, come on, bro, give it a break.
With the
Why?
8 seed.
I think
Why do we?
the one
Yeah, but still, you were the eighth
people
seed. But all of a sudden, now when they get to the finals and they lose, oh yeah, they were the eighth seed and lost. But on the way through, people go, yeah, man, this is the best team, great eighth seed ever. Yeah, they're beating this team, beating this team. They beat the Bucks, they beat the Celtics. Yeah, you only beat the Celtics because Jason Tatum sprained his ankle in the first minute. You guys would have lost. Everyone knows for a fact you would have lost the game, and we wouldn't be talking about, oh, they lost twice in the finals with Jimmy Butler. But
they should never have been in a game 7. Well, to be fair, they should never have been in a game. The Heat should have handled it before then, but the Celtics should have taken care of that series early on. They were way
The
better.
Heat should have just boxed out in game 5. Game 6.
Yeah, game 5, I think. Oh no, was it game? Yeah, game 5, man. Oh no, game 6 because send it back to Boston for the game 7. Yeah.
Game 6, just box out. Easy dub.
I think it's crazy though. You have to remember. I feel like Jimmy Butler has always been that tier below. Like, is there any season in the NBA where you'd be like, "Damn, that guy's top 10"?
No, never.
And to be the number 1 player on an NBA Finals team twice, that's pretty wild. As a non-top 10 guy in the NBA, I feel like that's what people respect.
I think he was a top player up until the finals. Then in the finals, it was Bam. But that's just me. In the finals was Bam. Oh, the other 3 rounds, 100% Jimmy Butler. The finals, give me Bam.
I just respect what he did, especially against the Bucks. Like, fuck, he looked like the best player on the planet against those Bucks.
Drew Holiday was trying his best to beat the allegations in that series, man. It was tough watch, tough sledding. But yeah, there you go. So maybe if the Kings get Jimmy Butler, they'll get to the finals. But as we know, he'll lose. That's what we love about Jimmy Butler in the finals. But yeah, man, there's obviously now the other big headline: potential head coach, actually, JJ Redick to the Los Angeles Lakers. He's the front runner right now. Obviously, ahead of some other more experienced names. I think Sam Cassell was up there. Mike Inori's been assistant coach for years as well. So now,
Borrego.
Oh, Borrego too, who's actually been a head coach.
It's between. I think they've narrowed it down to JJ Redick and Borrego at this point.
Mind the Game podcast episodes are going to go hard, man. After a 20-point blowout to the Nuggets, there's that episode we're all going to have to tune in, bro.
Well, I think he's going to have to get rid of one of his podcasts. He's full-time coaching fucking Lakers.
I just don't know why. Like, JJ Redick's a smart guy. I just don't know how he sees this playing out. Like, I bet you, obviously he's got ambition. He wants to be a great head coach with a team that's got a lot of talent. But the risk in taking on this job is huge. Look what happened to Steve Nash on the Nets. Like,
surely this is more the Lakers and LeBron than JJ Redick himself.
I think so. But if I was JJ Redick, I'm like, yo, okay, let me come in, let me get on a good staff with a good team. Like, go be the assistant coach for the Celtics for a couple years or something like that. I feel like I just don't know why these players always jump straight into head coach.
He was in the league for 15 years, so like he's seen good coaches and he's seen bad coaches.
But he's been coached for 15 years. Well, he's been coached all his life.
Do you not think he's found out stuff that works and doesn't work?
Yeah.
It's a tough move, though, man.
All he had to do was take his hands out of his pockets and be better than Darwin Turkey Ham Sandwich. So.
Darwin Ham's just an unfortunate looking bloke as well, so it was really hard to feel bad for the guy.
Hey, man, apparently he had a blanket on him at fucking half times.
Bro, I would not take the Lakers job, bro. That is, in my opinion, is the worst possible job you could take right now. It is horrendous. Because, bro, I've given up. They're not winning a chip. You're not winning a chip with a 40-year-old as your second best player. No, it's not happening. And then what? You guys going to trade for Donovan Mitchell? What's that going to do? Nothing. Trae Young? Nothing. It's not doing anything. We all
Well,
know
what
it's not doing anything.
what is it? Blockbuster trades that need to happen this offseason. Donovan to the Lakers. Where the fuck did that come from?
It's
Oh,
I
Austin. Oh, we're gonna give up Austin Reeves, Rui, and someone else to get him. Bro, your team gets worse. Literally, your team gets worse. Every trade that the Lakers can make to get better, they get worse. They think they'll make it, but they'll make them better. It'll make them worse.
Superstar heavy is the way to win, mate. Superstar heavy is the way to win.
Old superstars as well. Experienced superstars who have been there and done it. It's guaranteed.
Bro, these guys think
Yes.
we're back in 2012 or 2016 where you can have like a big three and have, a little 12. No, this isn't the 2012 Miami Heat, guys. You need young players who fly around the court and can defend. Donovan Mitchell is not, if you guys actually go check the tapes, is not a very good defender. He's really not. LeBron James, he was getting back cutted to hell by Aaron Gordon. You're telling me this guy 1 year later, a little bit older, is going to play defense? No, it's not happening. Lakers championship window is done. It's finished. I've accepted that, and I think it's time for any other Laker fan to accept that too.
Yeah, the one trade I do want to see happen though is the Lakers get Zach LaVine, just because I want to see people justify the trade and people tear it apart. It would just be good comedy.
I want to see Alonzo reunited with the Lakers.
I just want to see Lonzo play. To be fair,
I just want to see Lonzo
I'm not
stand
like
up
it.
from a chair. That's my goal. That's what I want to see.
Well, apparently he can play basketball now, so
Well, I seen that dunk the other day, actually. So yeah, I actually probably can't talk smack. He can probably get out of a chair, or maybe he can only dunk and can't get up out of a chair. He has to be carried out.
speaking of seeing Lonzo Ball dunk, when's the Ben Simmons off-season highlight reel coming out? I feel like we're about due for one.
nah, that's Olympic time, Ben Simmons snubbed from the Olympic team. Like,
No, he commits to the Olympic team and then withdraws.
oh, okay. Once you're around Olympic time,
I'm Australian. Yeah, more time on the Met Gala red carpet than on the court. Is that the one? I think so. I think that was a real stat.
I want to see a Josh Giddey, Ben Simmons 1v1 this
Yeah.
offseason.
What's that thing that Charles Barkley said back in the day about DeAndre Jordan? If you left him in a gym by himself and asked him to score 100 points, he would come back 12 hours later and he would have scored like 10 or something like that. Yeah.
Crazy. Good execution of that joke, P, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't quote it correctly. I
To be
couldn't quote
fair,
it.
if you're quoting anything from Charles Barkley, it's probably going to come out of a blurable.
The only thing I know is them big old women in San Antonio. That's the OG. That's the OG one. That one would never not get. That one's never gonna get old, bro. The big old woman in San Antonio.
Oh, they'd be eating a lot.
Damn, holy! You'll love to see it, brother. You'll love to see it. But more stuff that's been going down, bro. I think we were talking about this the other day, talking about the 2017 Warriors versus the 01 Lakers. Then now, the Pistons, 04 Pistons, who beat that Lakers team when they had Karl Malone and Gary Payton, now talking, saying that they could beat the Warriors team. So 04 Pistons versus 17 Warriors. We've talked about the 17 Warriors before. Let's reiterate who was on that team. Stephen Curry, prime. Klay Thompson, prime. Kevin Durant, prime. Draymond Green, prime. And Zaza Pachulia, who was an all-star top 10 or whatever it was. Then on the Pistons, you had Chauncey Billups, prime. Rip Hamilton, obviously. Tayshaun Prince. Ben Wallace, the four-time defensive player of the year. Then all-time technical leader in the NBA, Rasheed Wallace. Pistons versus Warriors. I already know my answer to this.
Right.
Pistons versus Warriors.
But the Warriors is the best team of all time. That being the 96 Bulls. I don't care.
It's crazy that this is even a conversation. I get that Pistons team has to be respected, but you look at it. In today's game, a four-time defensive player of the year can be exposed on defense in the playoffs. You're telling me that these guys are going to be able to defend that Warriors team? I just don't think it's happening.
Who's guarding Kevin Durant?
Tayshaun Prince, man, apparently.
He ain't guarding him. Who's guarding Steph Curry?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, it's just, I just don't think Guy, like, people just need to realize this. I have to say it again. I'm a LeBron fan. The Cleveland Cavaliers should have been swept that series. Think about this. The Warriors went to the playoffs. They went 16-1, and the only loss was because the Cavs, I won't say fluked, but they hit 25 threes to win that game. They had to hit 25 threes.
82 points in the first half or something.
Crazy amount, bro. That's the only game that the Warriors lost. If it wasn't for 25 threes, we'd be sitting here right now saying, boom, that team went 16-0 in the playoffs. And it would be, I think, unanimously regarded as the greatest team of all time. Because I can see, obviously people can say, oh, yeah, 73-9, Chicago Bulls. But, bro, I'm sorry. I just can't get behind it. You can call me a hater. You can say, oh, yeah, you were 90s, blah, blah, blah. Brother, we know. Come on now. We've seen it. You're not beating this Warriors team, bro. Come on now.
Max.
Yeah.
Bring anyone.
The best team of all time. Not one team has beaten them.
I reckon. Who was it that called that out?
I think it was Rasheed Wallace who started the beef. I think he was, I don't know if he was talking, Draymond, but I saw the club of Rasheed Wallace.
I reckon he should join the 08 Celtics and donate his brain to CTE research when he passes.
Wow.
I think that's the only explanation.
The people that were commenting on the post were saying gentleman's sweep to the Warriors.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's that. Like, that team is so good. Like, playoff time, they were on point. They weren't skipping a beat.
Yeah, I just don't know, man. 2007. If you said 2018, then okay, I can start having a conversation because 2018, that's when they nearly lost to Chris Paul and James Harden. But 2017, nah, bro, they were running the table. No one could do anything with them. They were at will, bro, just killing everyone.
Yeah. Katie was trying to beat the allegations that year, so that's why.
Yeah, and it was crazy, bro. KD, man, in the finals. Back-to-back finals MVP, my guy. Not really my guy, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, my guy.
the Lost and Unbound video popped up on my feed.
Which one?
Day. Lost and Unbound when Katie left Oklahoma.
Oh, he'll always be my cupcake though, so it's all right. It's all right. But yeah, man, that is us. That is us done, guys. Episode 44 of the Dunk Dynasty podcast. First of all, thanks to all the fans who've been following us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We really do appreciate it. More episodes coming your way during the NBA Finals. And head over to our Instagram to learn more about how you can appear on one of our episodes during the NBA Finals. So that should be pretty cool. Get your guys' thoughts. Obviously, you guys have been replying to stories, commenting, messaging us directly. What's our thoughts and things. So time to get your thoughts on different things. So can't wait to see who gets the feature. That should be pretty fun. But yeah, for us on our side, actually, we got State of Origin about to start in about 25 minutes. So guys, are you blue, maroon? What color are you? For the Australian, New Zealand fans, rugby league fans, Queensland or New South Wales? Who you got?
I've always been a red supporter, but I feel like I'm going to go. I feel like I like Sydney more than Brizzy now, so I'm going to go the Blues.
Okay.
That's crazy. You're the first person who I've ever heard switch allegiances. I bleed blue till I die.
Wow. Listen, I'm going to post that into the BLOODS group if I can get into one. And well, yeah. I don't want to say the word because I don't really feel but
put this way, I'm just surprised you can spell it.
Yeah, because I can't spell ambassador, so it's good for me. I can spell this one. So there you go, man. But yeah, you're Maroons all day, every day of the week, and 5 times on a Sunday. So there you go. For all the Australian fans, get on that. That's our thoughts on State of Origin. But for the rest of you guys, you'll get our thoughts on what's happening in the league on the next episode, Dunk Dynasty podcast. Over and out.